Have you ever wondered why your manifestations are not coming through in the time you expect them to? No matter how much you try, no matter how much you do the work, there is still something missing. And when you see the delays in your 3D reality, what you immediately question yourself, asking if you're worthy enough, if you're doing enough, if you really deserve it, and then you go into that spiral. Because when the doubt comes in, we lose ourselves in this spiral of negative thinking and questioning, which lowers your frequency to a level that is truly impossible to attract what you desire. Because now there is a gap, there is a huge gap between where you want to be and where you are. By the end of this video, what I want for you is to see the reality, see the delays through a different lens. And I want to give you a different set of eyes to look at these delays, to see the real meaning behind it and the real reason behind it, and fix it by asking the right questions. By the end of this video, I will give you 3 things to change if your manifestations are not coming through in the time you expect them to. I like to be educated, but I'm so frustrated. So what do we do when our manifestations are delayed? The first thing is asking whether we are really truly deserving it really belongs to us, and if it's really authentic. And the second thing is that we question ourselves. Am I really doing enough? Am I enough? Am I deserving? Am I doing something wrong? Maybe we compare ourselves to others, or maybe we try to find some mistakes in ourselves. So before we dive into these 2 different questionings, I want you to remember that whatever happens in your 3D reality, the universe never says no to you. It either says not now, or it says better. And why is that? Why do we believe that the universe never says no to us? It's because we are so deeply grounded in the truth that we are worthy, that the God, the universe loves us so much, that we are so precious, so worthy that it never says no to us. It either gives us something better, or it waits for us to prepare and get ready, grow and elevate and level up for the desires that we want, for the reality that we want. And as you say, it's not because we are not enough or we are not deserving. It's probably because we are looking at the wrong direction. So let's start looking at the right direction. First question is this desire really belong to me? Is it an authentic desire? The universe says better because maybe the desires that you have are not authentic desires. Those desires might belong to your ego self, your ego identity. And what is ego identity? It's basically the identity that you developed in your human experience to survive in a society, right? So it's all about these beliefs that we hold, all the wounds we hold, and everything that is related to our survival. And as you may see, if this identity is all about survival, right? Surviving in the society, being accepted, being loved, being right. This identity screams survival frequency. It's at the bottom of Maslow hierarchy. It's at the bottom of frequency charts. And I just want you to know that if you're acting from the instinct of survival, if your actions, thoughts, or emotions are coming from this need to survive, then you're acting from your ego self, which is wounded, which needs protection, which has protective mechanisms, walls around it, which is really blocking that beautiful, thriving energies. If you're surviving, you only have just enough to survive. Nothing more, maybe nothing less, but just enough to survive. That is the opposite of abundance. That is the opposite of what we're trying to attract, right? So what we do is to discover where we are acting from this ego self and make the differentiation between the higher self and the ego self. And this requires some inner work. You gotta start by asking yourself, why do I want this thing? Then when you find the answer, you should ask yourself again, why do I want it? Like truly. If your desire is a happy, committed relationship, ask yourself, why do I want it? And maybe the answer is because I want to share my happy moments with someone and, live happily ever after. But then ask yourself again, why do I want to share with someone? And then maybe you're going to come up with the answer, because I feel lonely when I don't have anybody to share my moments with. And then we're going deeper and deeper. Why do I think I'm lonely? And where does this come from? And so by the end of this questioning, when you go into the deep root of it, you're going to find something either related to your ego self, something about a limiting belief, an assumption, or an emotional wound, an unmet emotional need. If that is the case, it means this desired reality is only there for you to fill that void within you. I have a full video about this and I'm going to link it down below or put it up here somewhere so you can watch it later. But if you discovered that this desired reality is really just trying to fill a void within you, that is exactly telling you why your manifestations are not coming through yet. Because you're trying to satisfy your ego self and meet those unmet emotional needs. Therefore, it is not an authentic desire. So the God, the universe, the consciousness is waiting for you to level up by shedding light onto that shadow, shedding light onto that ego self and becoming more of light, more of you, more of truly who you are, becoming that authentic self, tapping into that frequency, not the frequency of need, but the frequency of wholeness and abundance and being content with yourself, being fully aware consciousness, and then see if you still desire the same reality. Because if you still desire the same reality, that means it's still authentic. Now it doesn't make you feel less of yourself, or it is not a frustrating situation when it doesn't come through. Because you know that authentically you have the potential to make it real and you deserve it. That's an authentic desire. That's a manifestation of your true potential. So when you truly realize yourself, it will eventually come through. Peeling the layers of ego self is going to give you the clear perspective on why your manifestations are delayed and how to align with them to magnetize your desires. The simple formula is that doing the inner work, seeing if it's a desire from your authentic self or an ego self. In case this is an egotistical desire, then peeling the layers of ego self and seeing if you still want that desired reality. Once we set clearly that this is an authentic desire, this is a manifestation of our true potential, then we can move on to the second part, which is really juicy, which is really so much fun, because we're gonna break many limiting beliefs, but the very, very important ones in that second part. But before we go into that part, I will just give you a quick 3 points to assess whether this is an authentic desire or an egotistical desire. The first thing is how you feel about it, how you feel in your body. Say you want to be on YouTube. Every time you set yourself and go in front of the camera, you feel that tightness in your chest or in your throat. It feels like you're stuck and you don't really feel like enthusiastic, or you don't really enjoy filming a video. What does it say? It says there is something blocking the energy. It is not feeling aligned. It is not cheering your soul up. So there must be something with it, right? Say you had a childhood where you were talking too much or too loud, that somebody told you not to speak up, or somebody shut you down, somebody upset you. And so you had the idea that if I talk too much, or if I just talk, they don't like me. I'm not likable, I'm not lovable, so it's better I shut it down. So this is the belief you developed through this experience. And say in 20 years, 30 years, you feel like you want to be on camera, you want to be on YouTube. It feels like you're stuck. Tells you something about this desire, doesn't it? If you do the inner work, it could be probably because you want to be on YouTube because you want to prove to yourself that you deserve to speak. Your voice deserves to be heard. You are worthy of speaking. You are worthy of talking to people, to being heard. So if you are trying to feel that emotional need within you, that unmet need from your past, it means you're not really happy here. This is not really authentic for you, but rather it's a means to satisfy your emotional needs, to satisfy your ego self, to prove something to the world or yourself. You don't need no proving. If something leaves you with the idea that you got to prove yourself to deserve it, to earn it, it is not right for you. Because you are already deserving, right? It is not right for you. You don't need to prove yourself. So this is not the topic of this video, but if you want me to make a video on this, leave a comment below. So the second thing to make that differentiation between egotistical desires and authentic desires is doing the inner work that I just told you. And this is simply asking yourself questions like, why do I want this? Why do I really want this? How I'm going to feel about myself after I have that desire, or how I'm going to believe about myself. I have a real life example for you, and I shared this in a couple of videos back. I couldn't manifest only 2 things this year, and one of them was a Mercedes, a car. And I got into the car. I was not in the driver's seat, but it was fantastic. But at the end, when I drove off, I felt a huge emptiness. My heart was broken. And then I discovered why I really wanted that car. And the reason was because I wanted to feel worthy of luxurious things, to know and be sure that I am luxurious. And after that discovery, like doing the inner work, asking these questions and discovering that, it was really heartbreaking, but at the same time it was freeing, because then the huge weight on my shoulders were lifted. Before, I was feeling less than, such a failure and unworthy because I couldn't get that car. But after I filled the void within me and met my emotional needs and affirmed the truth of my being, that I'm naturally deserving, I'm already luxurious and precious, I was still wanting that car. I still do want that car. So it's authentic. There's no problem about it, but it doesn't make me feel less than. It doesn't make me go into that spiral again, because now I can see the delays through different lenses. It's not about my worthiness. I know that that car is a natural result of my potential. And that's a huge relief and such an awareness when you come to this point. If your desires are authentic, you still want them, but they don't make you feel less of yourself. They don't make you feel unworthy or like a failure. So I can't recommend enough to do the inner work. And the third point is looking at yourself and seeing if you are the type of person, or if you are the main character of that desired reality. What it means is that your authentic desires belong to an authentic version of you. And this version is naturally attracting that desire, attracting that reality, and sustaining that reality, because they have different habits, they have different mindsets, and they have different belief systems. That's why it's so natural to them. They don't need to do anything. They just attract, they magnetize, and they sustain it, they multiply it. It's very easy to them. And the difference here is simply an identity shift. That is a different version of you. So you can see if you are feeling like that person, if it feels natural to you, if going to the gym 5 times a week feels good to you, if you're trying to attract love and abundance, See if going on a date feels authentic to you, if you enjoy it, if you enjoy yourself. So I highly encourage you to ask yourself if this feels natural to you, easy to you, authentic to you, and if not, how can you make it feel more natural, authentic, and easy for you? Since we've established that this is an authentic desire, now we can go into the second part, where we know that this is an authentic desire, but we still see the delays in the reality, and we question ourselves whether we are doing enough, whether we are worthy of it, whether we are enough. What I want you to know, first of all, is that there is no right or wrong. Who says what is right and what is wrong? Is it written in a book? Is it judged by whom? Who knows what is right? Who knows what is wrong? You only have these definitions because it's a product of the mind, and your mind is trying to survive. And a mind trying to survive is fearful. Fearful of threats, fearful of uncertainty, fearful of death. That's why you're fearful of making the wrong decisions. But there is no wrong decisions at all. Everything is natural in the universe. And if you wouldn't be so afraid of doing the wrong thing, you would be so free and everything would come as right. You wouldn't even care if something is called right or wrong. And that's simply it. If you're afraid to fail, your mind is gonna look for the right and the wrong. As Rumi said, out beyond the ideas of right doing and wrong doing, there is a field, and I'll meet you there. And this is truly amazing because there is no right doing or wrong doing. There is nothing like right or wrong. It's just fear. You're just trying to protect yourself. And the desire to protect yourself comes down to the core belief. This is the first and foremost core belief that we're gonna break today. It's coming down to the core belief that you need protection because you're not safe, you're not secure. And that also comes down to the belief that you're not worthy of protection. You're not worthy of protection of God. You're not worthy of love of God. You're not worthy of unconditional love and protection of the God. So we gotta fix this. We don't need to fix fear. We don't need to fix right or wrong. We just need to build some trust in ourselves, in the universe. It's so similar to illness. When you have a symptom, let's say you have a headache, you don't fix headache with the pills, right? Because pills only cure the symptom, not the reason behind the headache. If you're stressful and you don't remove your reasoning for stress, no matter how much painkillers you take, the next day you will still have that headache or something else because your body is signaling you the reason that it is still living inside of your body or your mind. So that is the same thing. You don't need to fix fear because that's very natural. We are humans. We will always live with fear. That's very natural. There's nothing wrong with fear. If there is something wrong, it is distrust. We don't trust ourselves. We don't trust our worthiness. We don't trust the God, the universe. So we better fix this. Let's quickly remember what I told you in the beginning of this video. I said the universe never says no to you. It only says not now or something better. We just saw why it says something better, because you're acting from your ego self and it wants you to peel the layers of ego and then become your authentic self. So what about the part where it says not now? Not now means I'm gonna give it to you, what you desire, but it is not the right time. You gotta grow, elevate, level up. And this is where we break the limiting beliefs, free ourselves from fear and worry and doubt, and align with the frequency of our desires. Align with the truth of who we really are. Because now we know the desire is authentic and we're gonna get it. There is no other option. It has no choice other than us. We know that for a fact. Therefore, we are trusting and we are relaxing into this truth. But we were asking the questions of, what if I'm doing something wrong? What if I'm not doing enough? What if I'm not enough, right? So these are the wrong questions. If you come this far, you should be asking yourself, who should I be turned into? Who should I become to be a magnet for this reality? Okay, this is the question. So now we are making that identity shift that I just told you a couple minutes back. We are now in a place of making the identity shift, elevating and preparing for the desired reality and becoming a true match for it. This is the question, this is the inner work. I highly encourage you to ask this question to yourself and see to each detail who you need to become and what you need to change to be a magnet for this desired reality. Like, be the main character in that reality. Be the person, the type of person who attracts, maintains, multiplies, and expands the desired reality so naturally. And before we finalize this video, I will of course summarize the 3 things that you need to change if you see delays in your reality. But I just want to give you the reasons why you are not that person yet. Okay? The reason why there is delay and the reason why you are not becoming the main character of your desired reality. The first reason is doing the same things but expecting a different result. I've been there, I've so been there, and I will give you this very real example from my YouTube. I've done the same things over and over and over again when I was building my business, or when I was building a presence online, or when I was trying to make that money for that Mercedes. I had only small, tiny little shifts, but nothing really substantial, nothing really quantum leaping. I was afraid, right? I was afraid to risk it. I was afraid to lose it, to be a failure. So I always tried the same things with small, minor shifts, and it didn't work out. It never did. And so I was so frustrated with the delays, but then I did the inner work, right? And I figured I was always doing the same things. And shout out to Einstein, if you do same things over and over again, but expect a different result, it's pure insanity. You can't really attract what you desire without changing your ways, without trying out different things. I know you're afraid to risk it, lose something, lose somebody, but trust me, you are not gonna lose them because you don't own them. There is nothing to own, there is nothing to lose. It's only a redirection. It's only elevation. If those are the true people or true environments for you, they will always stay. And if you're fearful of failing, then maybe you gotta accept the fact that there is no other way around. There is no success without failing. That's the natural process. We just need to make peace with it, accept it, that failure is not going to make you less of yourself or not worthy. And all that stories are not true. We just need to do that inner work and see for ourselves that failure doesn't mean anything. It doesn't define us. It's only data. And if we work that out, we're going to reach our desired realities. So the second reason why there is delay and you haven't become that person yet is because you didn't let go. You didn't detach. And that's a very huge, enormous concept, but I will just try to keep it very simple. You're not letting go of your old circles, old environments, your old job that is not paying you enough, or your old relationship or current relationship that doesn't show you the respect that you deserve, but you still try to attract a new one, a better one. So tell me that. If you don't trust the universe, if you don't trust life, if you don't trust yourself and your frequency, are you really ready for it? I don't think so. We need to let go of what is not serving us anymore. And making that leap requires your both feet to be up in the air. If you're still on the ground with one foot and then the other foot is trying to make the leap, you're going to be stuck in the surface, right? You're not going to be able to make the leap because you're not letting it go. You don't trust, you don't jump. Why it is called quantum jumping? It's because you're truly jumping and it's scary, but it's okay. Yeah, what's the worst case? Nothing, really. As I said, it's not a loss. Whatever you're risking is not a risk. This is life. And the worst case is that you're going to be alive, you're going to build something new, you're going to be redirected, left with what is truly meant for you, you're going to be shredded, aligned, elevated. In any case, even if it's a quote-unquote failure, even if it doesn't go the way you expect them to, still, it's about how you define failure or how you give meaning to these events. You can always see the bright side of it. You can only focus on the higher frequencies. You can always vibrate in those higher frequencies by being grateful to this experience. It's so simple. Well, not in the moment, but it's really that simple. And let's move to the final reason why there's a delay, because you are not the main character of this reality yet, because you're not transformed into that person. It's obvious, right? You are not becoming that person with your belief system, mindset, your thoughts, emotions, actions, and decisions. All of you. What I'm going to tell you now is going to shake you a little bit, but it's going to do good. I promise. So there is an identity, there is a version of you that wants, desires, waits, and hopes. And there is a version of you that owns, knows, trusts, and enjoys, doesn't wait, doesn't hope. There is a certainty out here, and there is an uncertainty. There's a distrust, there is doubt in the first one. The difference is very clear, isn't it? What would be the first thought going in their minds when they wake up? What would be the last thing they think before going to sleep? How would they have breakfast, dress up, talk, have conversations, or approach their work or relationships? Completely different energies, completely different frequencies, habits, and emotional reactions. How they feel on a daily basis is completely different. How they feel about themselves and how they feel about life. So even though in that second version of you, who owns and who knows and who trusts, the desired reality may not be here yet, may not have materialized yet. But that second version is not blaming herself, beating herself up, or spiraling in the negative feelings and thoughts. She has her focus and attention and energy directed at somewhere else. She's focusing on herself. She's focusing on her goals. She doesn't have time to question where is it, because she doesn't need it anymore. She knows that the desired reality will be here. It's a matter of alignment, and she doesn't need to chase it because her true presence in the moment, her gratitude, joy, and self-realization is the proof. This is very important. I'm gonna repeat. Please take notes if you can. Her true presence in the moment, like now, her gratitude, joy, contentment, and self-actualization is the proof that the desired reality is hers, is gonna manifest. She doesn't need the 3D proof because she is so sure of herself. She is certain. She is assured. She knows herself. She knows she is serving to her purpose. She knows that it has no other choice. The more she becomes more of herself, the more her desires are attracted to her. Abundance, love, peace, everything is attracted to this certainty, this frequency, this gratitude, presence. Oh, I'm gonna keeping it too long, but I just want to give it to you. The only thing that we have to manifest the desired reality, hence the desired versions of ourselves, is now. There is no future self. It is you right now becoming her. It is you right now choosing her habits, her thoughts, her emotions. There is no other time. There is no future. You will never get that. You are that already. Oh my God, this is true gem. Okay, so let's wrap this up. The 3 things that you need to change if you want to fix delays, if you want to manifest your desired reality, is this. First, seeing for yourself why you want that desired reality. How is it going to make you feel, doing the inner work, if it's authentic or not, if it's egotistical. In case you discover an emotional need, that unmet need or that limiting belief, we're gonna shed some light onto that, right? So the second step here is giving yourself those feelings, those affirmations, that certainty, because your inner child needs to know, because your mind needs to know, needs security, needs safety. So you give yourself whatever that feeling you're seeking through that desired reality. Just give it to yourself. If it's love, love yourself. Affirm to yourself. If it's money, it's probably about safety and security. So give your system, your mind and your body some safety. If it's feeling worthy and luxurious, treat yourself with small things that will make you feel more luxurious, more worthy. But it's just simply knowing that you are worthy, because whatever you learned in that human experience that tells you you are not worthy, you are not lovable, you don't deserve abundance and love and peace, it never belonged to you. It is not a part of you. It didn't come with you. You just learned it. So now it's time to unlearn it. That's as simple as that. Just letting go of the old beliefs, releasing them, freeing yourself from those limitations, and simply giving yourself more of what you desire. And third step is starting to embody that version of you right now. When you become that version of you in the present moment, the distance, the gap will be closed, because there is no distance. Distance is a product of the mind. It's only an idea. So we are simply becoming that person, making it so natural, so normal to our system, thinking like her, feeling like her, making her choices. Then our subconscious and our nervous system will get used to it and find it more secure and safe. And we will build those habits through repetition. We need to stick to it for some time. But during this process, you will be shifting your identity. You will be becoming another version of you who has a higher self-concept, who is vibrating at higher frequencies, who has higher frequency emotions, thoughts, and beliefs. So I guess you just need to consume a lot of high frequency stuff during that period. If something makes you feel like you're not enough, you're not worthy, run away, avoid it, block it, and give yourself more affirmations, meditations, more space to, just ground yourself and come back to your body, your home. Delays are reminders. So now you will have these several different perspectives to see the delays in your reality for what it really is. It is an advantage for you to level up and align with your desired reality. So thank you so much for being here today. It's a pleasure and honor to tell you about all this. And I was really excited, and this been like over an hour. I don't know how long it will be, but this is like a full workshop with inner work. If you like this video, drop a comment and hit that subscribe button. And if you're into attracting your desires by using your magnetic feminine energy and having more of these kind of perspectives, don't forget to check out my magnetic femininity portal. It has transformed many lives, including mine. I can't tell you enough. You got to see it yourself. It is that gorgeous blueprint for becoming a magnet to your desires and reclaiming your flow and feminine power. Love you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.